The last but not least is the importance of location. Tanya, do you recommend your clients choose their outfits based on the location or the other way around?
In some ways, it's neither. Because I always start by talking to the person. A lot of people ask if I have a studio, and I say no. And I could have had a studio a long time ago, but a studio doesn't tell me anything about you. And I think it's wasting a great opportunity to add more information to your story. So I like to say your background is 50% of your image, sometimes more, sometimes less. It's always a dialogue with the subject. So sometimes where you live is important to what you do and who you are. Sometimes it isn't. I once photographed an American author living in Switzerland. Her agent really wanted to show Switzerland. So the idea of her coming to me didn't make any sense. So I went to Switzerland to do the photo shoot. Another time, a beach is a great idea. If your brand is like this, my friend, the energy healer, who I photographed with these crashing waves, and it sort of spoke to her Viking heritage and the power of the earth. Sometimes the place you live isn't right for the story about your work or what you're doing. So we always are talking about finding locations that work. It's like what you do. I'm looking for integration and alignment. I'm looking for the inner thing to come to the surface so that I can photograph it. So that inner thing gets reflected in the clothing, gets reflected in the location. And I love to put those pieces together on the fly. That's like part of the alchemy of photography and part of the magic of, okay, let's see what clothes we have. You know, do we want the clothes to align with the space? Let's just say we're shooting a ball gown, which is not typical, but do you want the ball gown in a fancy mansion, or do you want the ball gown in a dark alley in New York, you know, on a gritty street scene? Are you going with or in contrast to the story? That's part of the conversation. It's part of your business. It's part of what you are doing. That's where it starts to get, for me, really fun, really creative. And yeah, we can make it look like we were shooting for days, just by changing it up so completely. I can change the light. I can be shooting in one basic location, and I can turn 4 different directions and get 4 different looks. So that could be 4 outfits, and we didn't go anywhere. But the location looks different, feels different, brings up different, you know, energy and feeling. It's also a really efficient way to work because you can get so much done in one day, but you roll the photos out slowly and you're building a whole brand that has a cohesiveness because it was photographed all at once, made to look sort of all of a piece, you know, chapters of the same story, let's say.
Is it you who typically suggests the location, or is it client, or
sometimes a client has an idea of a place that they would like, but clients see differently than I see. I have one client who wanted to photograph her crystal bowls around this fountain that she thought was so lovely. And we went to the fountain. It was in the middle of a parking lot. I just laughed. I was like, do we not see the cars here? This will never work. You know, there were cars in every direction. There was no way to shoot without having cars in the photo. And I said, absolutely not. I liked the idea. I know that she was only seeing the fountain. It's the same for me in any beautiful scenic location. I see the wires, I see the signs, I see the trash. I see all the things that I want to take out of the photo. Fortunately, that client said, oh, how about my mom's house? And we went there, and her mom lived in a spectacular house on the cliffs in California, overlooking the ocean. And I said, there is no question. This is it. Everything you're about is about expansive. And she understood the water part, you know, with the fountain, but yeah, we just had to take it to a whole other level. So a client has a kernel of an idea sometimes that's really great. And I love to work with it so that they stay aligned, so that they keep feeling themselves in these photos.